Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another set of Genshin reactions, yet again from Harshit. Today we have Song of the Welkin Moon and Afterglow of the Sky. Both of these are more recent ones. I know at least one is from Natlin. I assume the Welkin Moon one is, but it's very new, so I have no clue what part of the game it may be from. Maybe it's from a new area. I'm not that involved, but I am going to listen to it, so without further ado, let's go! It's beautiful art of a moon, though. Just, I like that aura around it. Ooh. Is that a hurdy-gurdy in there? That sounded like one. Maybe not, though. This has a more... This doesn't sound like a Natlin song, necessarily. Maybe it was an accordion. Sounds more like a hurdy-gurdy to me. Beautiful vocal run there. Oh, the modulation of the vocal, the like shape there, the vowel sound. Maybe this is a Natlin song. That would fit with the area. Bagpipe? I really can't tell what that is. There's too many instruments it could be. I feel like I'm hearing clicks in that. It might be a hurdy-gurdy. That would have that tactile switch to it. Well, that was a beautiful theme. That was very refreshing. If that is Natlin, it's definitely one of the more like original sounds I've heard come out of that area that sounds completely different from like the rest of the profile I've built out of this area in my mind. I'm getting the feeling that this might be a different area or different situation from the Natlin stuff that I have been brought before. I don't think that this is Natlin. I think this might be some sort of a side story in a different part of the game or something, because this just doesn't sound like Natlin to me. The more I listen to this song on loop, just trying to listen to little aspects of it, the more I'm convinced this isn't a Natlin song, but it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. The way that it builds itself is an entirely new direction. It's more mystical. It's more fantastical. It has this sense of mystic energy around it. This almost like coming from the stars sensation, which does work with the whole concept of it being a moon. That would totally track if it's supposed to be some sort of astrological, astronomical sort of concept. I would totally get that. I would feel that in there. The vocal runs and the voice in general, the way that it handles itself is a little bit more what I would call like a Celtic energy to it, or maybe just like Nordic, Norse kind of folk music in a way. It's just got that flavor to it, and maybe that's where the hurdy-gurdy sound is coming from. I'm still convinced that's a hurdy-gurdy. I don't know if it is, but it sounds so much like one. If it's not, I would be surprised. But everything in this composition sounds and supports the concept that this song is kind of being mystical in that way, where it's like talking about something that maybe like lore-based, lore-heavy. It definitely has this air of presence around it, but also this air of like folk history and fantasy around it, which fantasy you're gonna get from this sort of a game anyway. It's obviously not exactly realistic in this world, but at the same time, the feeling that this song portrays is 100% like you are sitting under the stars being told an epic story by a very old, wise person who's sharing with you lore of years and generations past and like your history, your ancestry. It's giving me that feeling. And that's where I was kind kind of feeling like maybe it was an Atlan song, because they do have those Native American influences in there, and I could definitely see that being kind of an explanation of like the stars and the history of those who came before you in them, and finding yourself in that history, in that past, and learning to respect that and understand nature in that very solemn way they do. And it's just a matter of trying to contextualize that more, but the sound profile is definitely not so much that, and has a lot more instruments and tones that you would find in Northern Europe before pretty much anywhere else. But just to praise the vocals a little bit more, I adore how like that vowel sound changed in that one spot. That sounds so cool. It sounds like pleading, almost like they're trying to get you, like begging you to understand the importance of this moment. There's this edge in there that really feels like there's an emotional weight to it, and I love that shift, going from that just opening it up and letting it kind of just pour out of the voice is really cool. And I love how that sounds. Like, it sounds mystical in a way, like nature itself is pleading to you to understand what's being told to you in this moment. It's Mother Nature begging you, imploring you to feel the weight of the situation. And even if this is basically just Grandpa's story time under the stars, it still feels like it has the weight of generations behind it, and that sounds so beautiful. And there was a point in this song where I almost got a little bit choked up. I didn't cry or anything, but I felt this importance in my chest, like deeper than I hear most songs, and I think that a lot of that was it. It wasn't that vocal moment that I mentioned, but there was definitely a spot near that, it was shortly after it, where the welling of that energy had like set itself up in me, and I was starting to feel it a little bit. It started to make an impact on me. A Genshin impact, you may say. Stupid jokes aside, gorgeous song. I love the energy behind it, and I love the feeling of this one. I love these sorts of songs that really truly feel like they have an importance beyond yourself, and this song is gorgeous in that way, and it definitely has that presence to it. And now I'm really interested to hear what Afterglow of the Sky has in store for me, because I don't think they're going to be related, since I know that this other one is from the Natlan area, because it comes off that same OST section that I've seen others come off of. But all in the same, I kind of wonder, maybe they are connected. I don't know, but I will give them a listen to find out. Oh, this one's relaxing. Light tension in the vocals, but gorgeous chord there. Yeah, the harp. This is already a completely different sound profile. Definitely not related. Can't be. At least not directly. This kind of does have that same Mother Nature pleading vibe that the other one did, just in a different way. This is more lamenting than it is pleading. It feels more pained. Bring in that cello. Little ornamentation stuff of the piano in there, just little moments. Beautiful. But yeah, definitely not related. They kind of have a similar thing going on, but not related. I think a lot of the reason this one sounds similar to the other one is because I'm still getting this floating energy from this one. It feels like something in the sky is trying to make contact with you. It has a similar vocal thing going on there. Definitely, like I said, not nearly as much of a pleading energy as much as it is almost sad. It feels sad, or just worn in a way, like it's someplace old. Could be an ancient location, something like that. I would understand totally. It just feels worn down. Everything about this song was slow, it was laborious, it was just kind of there. And it's been there so long, it doesn't know if it wants to be there anymore. You know, it's just kind of like, I'm still here. I still look good, but I've put a couple thousand miles on me, so be gentle. You know, it's a tired song, but also so gorgeous. So it makes me feel like whatever this is reflecting is probably a place that's very ancient and has been around a while, but maybe a super high up location. Just because of that floating energy it had. It was constantly drifting up. It never really sat down. No part of this song felt like it was grounding, really, except for that one cello spot. I thought there was going to be more bass coming in after that, but they really didn't. It was just kind of a short cello swell, and it continued to go. They bowed on the cello and left. So it's like, well, that's not really the ground, though. That's just kind of like somewhere in the middle. It's close to the bass, but not quite there yet. So I don't think the song itself ever settled into the rest of what could have been a more connected sound feeling. So this profile doesn't really scream like it's a grounded location. So I'm getting up in the sky, could be high up, probably just in clouds or something, like above the cloud line, maybe still connected, just a really tall tower, something like that. But otherwise, very old, maybe completely abandoned, has been for generations and generations. I would totally understand that being a part of it as well. It just feels too perfect. Like, this is so gorgeous in its exhaustion. It really does feel like the sound of like walking into a throne room of a god that has been forgotten. That might be the best way I could describe this. It is a forgotten deity who's sitting there, and like as you walk up to them, they're just like, oh, finally. It's been a while since I've had a visitor. And they're just, you can tell they're worn down because nobody comes up there anymore and they're just kind of lonely. So whether that's actually the case here or it's just like a building, you can kind of get that same characterization through music either way. If it's a person, this is their backing track. It wants to reflect all those same things. If it's a building, they probably want to transport you into that, make it feel like it's been around for a while. And it's doing that very much. The vocals especially help that because while they also sound like they're just kind of floating up with everything else, there's not much bass to the vocals at all. It's mostly high vocals and kind of mid-range vocals. So I'm not getting any of that grounding through the vocals either. At the same time, nothing in this song was wrong. At the very beginning, there was a little bit of dissonance in there, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't like ear-scraping dissonance. It wasn't really dirty, crunchy notes just bashing up against each other. It was just a little bit off. So a little worn, a little tired. But otherwise, and through the rest of the song, gorgeous. It's almost like that one moment at the very beginning was your first impression of seeing this very old location and just going, whoa. And then like as it settles in and it starts to kind of speak to you more as you get closer and start noticing details, the song is unfolding with that, and you're starting to kind of understand that this is a very old location, but it's not exactly lost or entirely forgotten. It's just been around a while, a little worn down, but still has good bones, and maybe it's a good place to explore and do something. Maybe it's a dungeon or something, but first from the outside, maybe it looks gorgeous and has a beautiful profile to look at. So that's the energy I'm getting from this one. Maybe that's why both of these were requested together. They both feel like they're coming from the sky, but in different ways. One definitely feels celestial. It feels like the moon, like the stars, like you're being told this grand story. And this one feels like you're reflecting on what once was and just kind of settling into its older years. It's a completely different energy, but at the same time, familiar enough and similar enough that I can definitely see why these were requested together. But I think that's about all I gotta say for these ones, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you have any other songs you want me to get to, drop them in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to them. And of course, otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!